When we talk about how to become a leader, everyone focuses on the great things you should be doing. But honestly, a huge part of emerging as a leader is simply making sure you don't take yourself out of the running. Think of it like a psychological elimination round. And that's exactly what research by people like Ernest Borman showed. He and his colleagues at the University of Minnesota found that groups often identify emerging leaders because the rest of the members systematically eliminate others based on disqualifying behavior. Borman calls this the method of residues. I love that term because it suggests that instead of choosing the single best person, the leader is often just the one who remains after everyone else has messed up in the eyes of the group members. They're the person who hasn't been mentally eliminated yet. Borman identified 5 immediate deal breakers that can disqualify nearly half of a group: being too quiet, too rigid, too aggressive, or coming across as unintelligent or uninformed. It makes total sense. We simply don't want to be led by someone with those qualities. To get even more concrete, let's look at the specific day-to-day behaviors you absolutely need to stop. Researchers Aubrey Fischel and Donald Ellis developed 8 rules for securing a low-status position. The first one is simple: missing meetings. It might seem obvious, but you can't show leadership potential if you're not in the room. Don't be the person who overcommits and constantly cancels, thinking it makes you high status. It just makes you seem unreliable. We want reliable leaders. So we already covered missing meetings. Huge red flag. Now let's look at a few more. Rule number 2 is not speaking enough at meetings. Sure, we all appreciate a leader who listens, but if you're consistently in the bottom 25% of the group when it comes to contributing, you're positioning yourself as a follower, not a leader. You need to speak up at least an average amount, or ideally, a little more. Rule number 3, volunteer to be the note taker. I know it's an important job, and you might be great at it if you're detail-oriented. But this is widely seen as a support role, not a leadership role. Don't let this become your default job. If the responsibility keeps circling back to you, politely insist that the group rotates the task. Rule number 4 is really passive, explaining that you're willing to do what you're told. While being a good follower is fine, outright stating this signals passivity. I heard a story once about a teacher who admitted on the phone, "I'm not good at making decisions. I'm good at doing what I'm told." The student who overheard instantly lost respect for him. That kind of passivity instantly tells others, "I'm not a leader." Rule number 5 is the opposite of being quiet. Coming on too strong, too early. Especially when a team is new, if you are too pushy, too dominating, or talkative, the group will mentally check out and decide they don't want to work under you. This is about balancing being assertive, stating your views while leaving room for others, versus being aggressive, trying to control and dominate the conversation. You want to contribute, but don't monopolize the airtime. Rule number 6 is assuming the role of the joker. We all love humor, but if your only contribution is joking around, it makes you look unserious. I once studied a group where one member's entire presence was defined by laughs and wisecracks. He was funny, but he wasn't going to get promoted because he wasn't contributing to the actual task. Make sure you contribute more to the work than you do to the comedy. Rule number 7, acting like an expert on everything and using excessive jargon. People mistakenly believe that raw intelligence or big, complicated words equal leadership. Not true. Effective leaders speak in plain language that appeals to the entire group. If people refer to you only as a true subject matter expert, the unspoken downside is that they don't see your potential outside of that narrow niche. They don't see leadership qualities. Your job as a leader is to simplify and speak to everyone. Finally, rule number 8, expressing contempt for leadership. Don't fall into the trap of thinking if you complain about the current leaders long enough, someone will put you in charge instead. It rarely works that way. It usually just leads to you losing influence or even your job. Instead of pointing out all the problems, you should be offering solutions and then offering to be part of those solutions. Once you eliminate those 8 behaviors, you're set for the positive steps. Existing leaders are looking for people who are already acting like a leader, and that's who gets promoted. Johnson and Hackman summarized 4 key ways you can emerge as a leader. Show your individual competence. Leaders must be good at their jobs. The easiest way to display this is by being fully prepared for meetings. Honestly, if you complete any pre-work and show up ready to go, you are already ahead of half the group. Competence earns respect. Participate early and often. Leaders speak. You should contribute from the very first meeting, especially if you are new. Don't wait for someone to call on you, even if it's just to echo a good point by saying, "Yes, what Gary said makes a lot of sense." Break the ice early. This behavior alone positions you in the top 25% of the group for influence. Focus on the quality and quantity of your communication. This means leveling up your contributions by helping to set goals, give direction, and critically, summarize key points when the discussion gets blurry. Synthesizing the conversation into a clear structure, like saying, "It sounds like we have 3 main concerns," is a powerful leadership moment. Help build a cohesive team. Leadership is about leading others. Strive to build relationships and positive connections. By making the health and effectiveness of the team a priority, you're leading by example, which dramatically increases the probability that others will follow your lead. People want to work with people they want to work with. And here's a bonus point. Solve problems. Don't just talk about problems. Spend your time discussing, asking for, and offering hypothetical solutions. And if you offer one, make sure you also offer to step up and help implement it. That's the look of a true leader.